For those of you that aren't too tired tonight, go ahead and think about your best friend. The one you go on trips with, hang out with, and maybe even watch late night movies with. The one that's such an integral part to your life. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about your cell phone. You see, we treat the cell phone like a baby, feed it battery when it's hungry, give it protection, and even sleep with it. And as a result, our human connection with one another is fading away, and we can't even realize it. Technology has started to take over, and between us humans, the future isn't looking too bright. Good evening, everyone. My name is Abhay Sankar, and tonight I'll be playing Matchmaker. Now, for all our lovebirds in the audience, unfortunately, I wasn't able to take Cupid's spot. But I am standing here today in front of you to help build connection amongst us, establish relationships with our loved ones, and continue to take our network to new heights. Technology is such a big thing in our world, and while we believe we are in such a digitally connected world, truth is, it's a digital disaster. We're constantly on platforms like Instagram and Snapchat, but what is so bad about these platforms? We think that we're able to connect with anyone in the world, at any time, at any day, but truth is, that's not true. The biggest mistake we're making is these digital interactions, we consider them to be real friendships. But the shallow acquaintances we meet online are the absolute opposite of genuine human connection. Sometimes we even have the audacity to meet someone in person after never seeing their face, not knowing what they look like or anything else about them. For me, coming into 7th grade, I was fresh off septic arthritis in my elbow, and most definitely not looking forward to go to school. Fortunately or not, at that time, we were in the middle of a global pandemic called COVID-19. You see, in a way, this was good for me. I had just started to experience what it was like to be a middle school boy. And now no one would see that ugly mustache or my voice that started to sound more and more like something from Star Wars. In fact, I thought I was living the dream. I got to sit in front of my computer for the entire year without actually attending school. How lucky was I? And so coming to the very first day of online school, here's what happened. I slept through all of first period, wore pajamas for second period, ate breakfast during third period, and then for some reason I paid attention during math, but that's beside the point. And by the time fifth period occurred, my tummy was hungry, lunch was ready, so there goes that. And so it was that very same day that I sat down in front of my computer for the 6th time getting ready for 6th period. I was trying to find another way to kill time to see what I could possibly do. And that's when it hit me. Now, a lot of you are about to be shocked about what I'm going to say. We are at a TED event, right? I should have an idea where it's spreading. But in reality, I was just going to play Fortnite. And that's really what it was. And for anyone that's too old in the audience tonight, think of Fortnite as like a more aggressive version of Tetris, to put it. And now, you see, that was my big master plan. But in reality, that was probably a huge mistake. Because that very moment I opened up Fortnite, my mom came into my room, and just like that, my dreams of being a professional esports player were out the door. Thanks, Mom. I was really upset about that, but it wasn't until a couple of months later that I soon realized that my esteemed duo and Fortnite partner was a 45-year-old man from Australia named Howard. And as any other middle schooler thought of at that time, I disregarded it. But looking back on it, I could have done so many things better. And you see, I forgot about that instance, and the year definitely continued to progress. But I would constantly be reminded of times where my human connection with others was lacking. Other than telling me to fold my clothes or come downstairs to eat food, the most common phrase I heard during that time was for me to turn on my video. But let's be clear here. I thought I was the coolest kid in the world by not turning on my video. My teachers wouldn't hear me, they wouldn't see me. I was like a walking incognito. That's so cool, right? But by not turning on my video, it was doing so much more than just harming my learning. I was missing out on friendships for a lifetime. And I truly didn't realize how much connection I missed out on until the other day where my 7th grade sister came up to me and asked me who my history teacher was in 7th grade. This was a really simple question and should have a really simple answer. I'm an avid chess player after all. I pride myself on having a great memory. But I forgot. I didn't know who it was. Then a couple days later, my second grade sister, she came up to me asking me who my teacher was in second grade. But I was able to instantly remember in a heartbeat. But that wasn't because one teacher was better than another or vice versa. It was due to the fact that I had established a genuine relationship with my second grade teacher. Whereas my seventh grade history teacher, I had never seen them once in person. They don't know what I look like or talk like. They'd never even heard my voice. So I struggled so much to even come up with what their name was. When my parents were kids, everyone was so emotionally connected even though they were digitally so far apart. Nowadays, we're digitally super glued to one another and emotionally so far apart. They used to go outside when they were kids to play cricket or go on bike rides with friends in their community, establishing lifelong connections that served them so well. Now, they're able to reminisce on those memories during high school and college reunions. Whereas for me, I wake up, scroll on TikTok for a couple of hours on my phone, and then play Fortnite with people that are halfway across the entire globe. So this begs the question, how do we combat the myth of modern connection? And to that, I look towards the power of networking. You see, in order to have the best Wi-Fi connection, you need to have 4 bars. Similarly, in order to have the best human connection with one another, to grow your network the best way possible, you need 4 things. The first of which, welcome diversity. Now, all of us are so used to staying in our comfort zone, talking to people that only share the same goals, dreams, and ambitions as us, and not really stepping outside of it. And I too was a victim of this. Until one day, my teacher put me in a breakout room with someone named Brian. My immediate reaction, no way am I going to work with Brian. I thought he was a bum. No chance am I going to work with him. But we had a project to do, and that project sure wasn't going to do itself. And so push came to shove, and I ended up working alongside Brian. But then, Brian and I started to become pretty good friends. In fact, he's such an integral part of my network today. We are both co-workers together as the place we lifeguard at. So for me, that was lesson learned. The very first step into broadening your network, growing your human connection, is welcoming diversity and meeting new people. Now the second bar in our Wi-Fi of human connection is increase authenticity. When I came back from online school and I looked around, I had to make sure I wasn't imagining things. I mean, people looked so different, talked so differently, and even acted like someone I hadn't even met before. To be clear, I've known these people for so long, yet I wasn't able to do something so simple as to put a face to a name. Being authentic is so important so that you and the other person are able to build a relationship based off of trust. It's so important so that you and the other person know that you aren't pretending to be someone who you aren't. And that leads us to friendly communication, the third thing. If you aren't constantly communicating with the people in your network, then relationships start to become awkward, text messages become harder to send, and eye contact becomes scary. And after coming back to school for the very first time, we struggled to make simple conversations. People forgot how to ask questions like, how are you? What are you planning to do tonight? Instead, we left it to awkward waves in the hallway, weird eye contact. One time, I saw 2 people sitting right next to each other, yet they were texting. That's how bad connection has gotten. But you see, friendly communication is so important to build the relationship off trust, to keep connecting with these people. And just by asking such a simple question, like how are you, it provides so much to the relationship, allowing it to grow and expand, and allowing you to have as robust of a network as possible. And lastly, we need to talk about improving empathy. Yeah, I know, so that some of you guys don't sleep today, I won't go all in detail of it. We know how many times it's been said before, be nice as a friend, be nice as a student, be nice as a partner, or whatever it might be. But truth is, the value of empathy can't be understated. At the end of the day, were you the person that promoted the second chance, promoted the opportunity for forgiveness, or were you the person that took it away? So now this brings us to the real Wi-Fi and the real connection we need in our everyday lives. Welcome diversity, increase authenticness, friendly communication, and improve empathy. This is the Wi-Fi that we are lacking, and this is the Wi-Fi that's the basis for our connection. So during COVID, when we all struggled, the very first case popped up here in Kirkland, Washington, and soon it turned into a flu, a virus, and then a worldwide pandemic shutdown. Long lines of people were in the hospital. not knowing what to do, checking up to see how their loved ones were doing. But our world didn't stand still. School most definitely did not stop. We had to find ways to constantly adapt. And that same technology that once brought us closer is driving us further apart, further than we can imagine, destroying our connections and network one life at a time. Now, my days of becoming a professional Fortnite player or even a Discord moderator are most definitely over. But for me, increasing my connections and building my network never stops. In conclusion, tonight, as your matchmaker, I want everyone to reimagine the power of networking. Welcome diversity, increase authenticness, friendly communication, and improving empathy are all keys to building human connection and a strong network. Even tonight, as you leave, maybe say hi to someone, talk about an overdue conversation you've been wanting to do, because every new day is an opportunity to meet someone new, or to even reestablish our connections with our loved ones. And so tonight, that's my goal for you guys as matchmaker. Let's rebuild and reimagine the power of networking and human connection, face-to-face, eye-to-eye, one life at a time. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Good night.